Hi everyone, I'm Gemma.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're from TalkShop, Retail Consulting. And we're here to talk to you, lovely attendees, of the Life in Style event about online product optimisation. And never fear, we will be telling you exactly what that is very shortly. So a little bit about us, and we won't spend too long here, but we're retail consultants with a visual merchandising background. We work with retailers and wholesalers on their e-commerce online presence and their physical stores as well. So everything from hands-on visual merchandising through to shoppability of your website through to branding. And that's kind of exactly what product optimization is for online. So just like everybody else has lately had to pivot their business fairly swiftly, something that's of real interest to us is translating that physical visual merchandising experience onto your e-commerce stores. Yeah. So I'm going to throw to Sarah now, and we're just going to have a pretty good chat about this. So over to you.
Yeah, well, that's right, Jem. So I think now most businesses will have a website set up, and they'll have a logo on there and probably an about section. They've probably loaded their products onto there, and you've made a checkout, maybe some frequently asked questions. Mm-hmm. But it's getting really competitive online, and so we really need to do a bit more than that to convert and to make sales on our websites.
That's right. I think there's a line here about your online is your digital window front. And I think that's exactly what's happened now with the move to e-commerce being super obviously important and swift due to COVID-19. So making sure that the first thing and the first experience and engagement that your customer has is as gorgeous, as engaging and personable as it would be if they were walking down the street and past your gorgeous shop.
Or, at the Life in Style, walking past your stand and being able to engage with you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Having your face as your business, talking about your brand has never been more important.
And so when we talk about increasing e-commerce conversions are, well, I like to think of it almost as the opposite. So the opposite to conversion is the barriers that a customer comes across, or the challenges, or the moments where they have to think too much, or something takes too long, or it's not easy, or they don't have all the answers in front of them. So there's not one individual item that will increase your e-commerce conversion, but there are lots of small things. And depending on your brand and your business and your customer, you need to pick out the things that are going to be most important. So just to give you a bit of a wrap up, it's a real attention to detail to the visuals on your website. So whether they're a brand, whether they're high quality, the text and the copy, is it in your brand voice, the back end running of the site, apps that you can add onto your site, keywords, website speed, search engine optimization.
Otherwise known as SEO.
Yes, and when I type into Google, does your site come up? Then really the overall customer experience. So from the moment that they land on your page to when you hopefully get them to the checkout and they're about to make their purchase, how is that experience for them? And then do they have a connection to your brand? Is there something there that's creating emotion? Do they feel like they belong? Are they enjoying the time on your site?
So tips to improve your website conversions. We're just going to really drill down as deeply as possible to give you guys, some really valuable tricks and tips and things to look at. So when landing on your site, does your customer instantly recognise where they are? Is your branding so strong and imagery so strong that your customer feels like, they belong and they know where they are? That's the first impression. Making the brand shine through the screen, capture the attention, fantastic photography, really good branding with your typography, fonts, and graphics. And then tone of voice, which is something that Sarah and I are really huge advocates of at the moment, is extracting from the business owners their voice, getting a fantastic copywriter, what a great investment, to pull that through into all the copy, all the way through your socials, through onto your e-com. Did you want to add there, Sarah?
I just think, another challenge is how can you make your site a bit different? And it's like when you're in a store, we talk about the longer a customer spends in your shop, the more likely they are to buy something, because they're enjoying the time, they want to be a part of it, they're enjoying the music that's on and all the tactile experiences. So how can you get your customer to really enjoy being on your site, going through, finding out about you, stalking you, reading about your brand, looking at the products? How can you do that?
We've put together some really strong examples of, of the previous page. So this is a really gorgeous home delivery brand called Get Crocked. And Sarah's going to talk about all the things that she loves about this, because she's a huge fan, as am I, but I'm more of a fan of ceramics themselves. But there are just so many things about this e-com that made us look twice or three times. And then purchase some stuff.
I mean, I think you can just see it there. This is their homepage, and it's spread across a couple of screen grabs there. But I just love that the logo is really fun. It's really cute packaging and branding. There's enough white space on here. They've got really cute buttons. Their copy is outstanding. So it's how to get crocked pottery sets, and dirty hands, clear mind. So their ethic is. Their idea is that you can get the kits and do it with your friends and avoid drinking alcohol but having a nice time, and they give you some talking cards to go with it. So it's just a beautiful sentiment, and I think it's really relevant. And what the thing is, they sell one range of products, and they have been selling out and people have been going crazy for it. And I just think they've hit everything right with their branding, and then this beautiful website that they've created. It's really easy to purchase.
They've inadvertently really got their timing right as well.
Yeah, they have.
Haven't they?
Yeah.
I really love the customised illustrations because they look like they're figures made from clay.
Yeah. So a great one to check out. Yeah.
It's a good one to check out. The link is there. Considering that people can't touch or try on your products online, you need to work twice as hard to make your products come alive via excellent photography and graphics.
Yeah, and that's really what we just saw on that little site there, and this one too, which is really fun.
Yeah, so this is Big Bud, and they're based in LA, aren't they, Sarah? And they're just nailing a lot of things, and I think that you'll all be able to have a really good explore, but we're just going to hit on a couple of main points here that we think is really assisting in optimizing the product.
Look, I mean, talk about having a site that is a bit different and stands out. Look, they haven't used traditional models. They've got really diverse range, and they've gone for that beautiful
art direction is really, the art direction is bang on point, extremely strong. There's a very clear vision here.
Yeah, and I think just a minimal makeup, if any at all, like just gorgeous, really fun imagery, fun pops of colour. It's very simple but beautiful.
Great styling, real people, amazing brand. The brand presence is obviously really strong, but their product descriptions, we'll go into talking a little bit about that as well. But have a really nice explore through here. And I'm sure that even though this might not look like your brand, there are great ideas about how to strengthen your e-commerce, that's suitable to your brand through.
Yeah. Even like through the categories that they've got there laid out. And once you see the product descriptions, you'll see a bit more about what we're talking about.
Okay. So how are your products listed to give as much information and transparency as possible to your customer? This is really important.
Yeah, so the number one here is probably my favourite on a product listing. That's that section where if you imagine that you're in a shop or you're at the trade fair and you're describing the product to someone who's standing there in front of you and where they'd go or how they'd use this in their life, that is the overview and the wrap up. And I love seeing that on any website description that I go to, because I just read that and I go and I sort of can imagine myself using that product and whether that's what I'm after. And then, of course, you've got the basics like sizing and fit, product details, wash, storage and care instructions, and then total transparency. And do you want to dig into that one, Jem?
Yeah, total transparency is really engaging, because if you've got a product that's been ethically made or is sustainable or is made from a new and interesting, upcycled or recycled material, or you have a great story about the conditions in which it was made or manufactured, and whether anything or human or animal or whatever may or may not have been harmed, it's really important to talk about that. So whether that, you might only hit one of those points, but it's really clever to capitalize on it. People like to shop in an ethical way. Gen Y really are very conscious of the way that they purchase. And I think that if you can get somebody reading something interesting, you're keeping them there longer and you're building their relationship with what the product is.
It's really about being open and transparent about it. People want to know where it was made, where's it come from.
And talk about it. Why not talk about it? One brand reported that the image and product description quality improvements contributed to a 30% increase in conversions. So that is really just coming back to investing in great photography, art direction as well, and making sure that you've got really strong branding throughout.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of little examples here of product listing, which, you can click through, but Sarah will just talk a little bit about those now.
So back to these big bud, which is the shot on the left. We've got the beautiful, there's the image there, and they've got maybe 10 images there. And they have actually got 2 different models wearing the product in 2 different sizes. And then you've got the description of the garment and how you might wear it. And then you go into where it's made and all the details there.
Yeah.
But we also like that they've named the 2 girls there, so instead of model A or model B, they've actually used their names.
Or even not acknowledging them at all, which is pretty common.
Yeah.
It adds personality, and so do the emojis. It's really that's not for everyone, but that's just a really clever way of engaging with their target market in a language that they're familiar with.
And I think wherever possible, showing what size the model's wearing, or having something in your imagery that shows the customer what that size is like in real life is really helpful.
And this one, I Draw.
Yeah, so I Draw do beautiful journals, and you can see here the detail in their product listing. So that's for one journal. They've got about 10 images. They've got close up. They've got them in the lifestyle, and then of course there's all the beautiful the text there about how you can use it. And just once you have a read of that, you'll just want to grab one of those. It's really compelling, and it's lovely.
So product grouping. Let's have a look and a really brief chat about arranging your product so that your customer can shop really intuitively. So this is that whole principle that we mentioned right at the beginning about making your e-commerce site as shoppable and as friendly and accessible as your physical retail store.
Yes, and it's really crucial that you use your insights and intelligence that come through the data and the analytics on your site, so that you can regroup the product in the way that they're wanting to see it.
Yes. Almost 80% of consumers say it's why they're more likely to shop online. Almost 60% say that they would cancel their order if the price of the shipping was too high, and 39% will abandon their carts if free shipping is not offered. I think we're all a fan of free shipping. I'm also a fan of spending more so that I do get free shipping.
Oh yeah, it's very tempting, isn't it? It's a great teaser. If you can't quite give the free shipping, then that's a great tester. I mean, there's nothing worse than going to a site, choosing what you want to buy, popping it in the cart, umming and ahhing about it. Then you add in your details, and then you get to the checkout. You're about to pay, and you find out that the shipping is as much as the product, or a really decent chunk. So please be upfront about that.
And try and find some value as well. So you could do a discount on shopping or a flat fee, on shipping, so that it's bringing the price of that down a little bit, but not putting a hole in your pocket. So being as human as possible, I think we've touched on this a little bit, but it really is up there with one of the most important things, finding a great copywriter who can translate your voice into your brand, relating your products back to your customer. So knowing your customer, knowing what they love, and making sure that when they come onto your site, they're as comfortable as they are coming into your store. Looking for opportunities to review sales, grouping product in the way that your customer can shop.
Really, this is like if you're setting up a shop, a physical shop, how do you, looking at the same product and then re-merchandising it in a different way that talks to your customer, talks to what they're looking for. And then just touching back on that first point there about being as human as possible, that's through the copy, but also showing your team and behind the scenes, or your warehouse where you do the product, showing faces. It's a really great way to humanize a website. And we're just really looking for connection and emotion at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Show your shop, mirror your shop, show your brand team, which we just talked about, using simple questions and copy to replicate the in-store experience and present multiple ideas for the end use of the product, and sharing your product knowledge with this absolutely stunning picture here on the right from our good friends at Big Barn.
Again, so it really gives great legitimacy if you have got a bricks and mortar shop, and you can show that on your site, as well as your customers know, and they can come in and see you. It's just another way to add another element to your website, showing your shops. You know, you've got these beautiful shops, you show them off. It's the same if you're a wholesaler and you've got a showroom or something. We'd love to see pictures of that on your website.
Yeah. It's not just for Instagram, you know, being human and showing yourself and having a chat. It's not just for Insta. It's definitely for e-com as well. That's where you're going to make your sale ultimately. Yeah.
So there's a couple of other brands here who've done a beautiful job of showing the shop experience on their website. So we've got COS, who have called that section on their site COS Buildings, which is great copy for their brand. And then another Australian business, Grace and Willow, located in Melbourne, who have got a gorgeous photography of their ranges hanging
in their boutique. Yeah, really stunning.
So you get a bit of a feel of what the shop might be like. It just, that looks different to just product on a site. And again, some more shops here really shouting out about their physical shops. So, and I'd love it if you jumped on and had a look at these two websites here, because they both use video to introduce their brand, and we're very passionate about video.
It's really now, at the moment, the best way to engage with your customer and to connect with them and to build rapport. So, you know, anything from something as short as 2 to 3 minutes as a one-off investment is going to pay off massively. It's material that you can use on your e-com, you can use it on Instagram, you can use it when you're emailing, you know, other businesses. And it gives you an opportunity to not be a static image. It gives you an opportunity to talk to camera, for the camera to actually look at your business and create the feel that, you know, that is your business, and it will talk for you.
And I really encourage you all to have a look at these two links here and to watch the videos on these two sites, and then just reflect a little bit on how that makes you feel. Because when I watched both of them, and I think, Gemma, you were the same, I wanted to be a part of these two brands. I wanted to know more. I wanted to have those chairs in my house. I wanted to buy a raincoat. You know,
they were really captivating.
Yeah.
The sites are really well done. I think there's a lot that they've really hit a lot of great points on here. And the video for the raincoats, you know, it's 15 minutes long. It's a story. It's a long story, but it you know, it doesn't tire you out. You certainly want to keep watching. It's really interesting.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through some additions that you can add onto your site to up the conversions. So use your announcement bar. You can use that in some great colours, and that's something that you can update regularly with your latest message. So whether that's shipping, might be COVID updates or new stock, discount code, sale. Make sure you're using that if you have one. As we said before, share your shipping prices and share them as soon as possible so that you're upfront about that. Create a sense of urgency. So you can do that with timers. You can do that with pre-orders, showing items that have sold out. So letting your customer know that, hey, they're not going to be here forever, and it's okay to sell out, because that does create that sense of urgency. Extra reading section, which could otherwise be known as a blog, but it's much nicer to call it something else, like the Edit, a Star magazine, might be recipes, depending. It's got to relate back to your brand and what you're all about. There's an as featured section. So if you've had some PR or magazines showing that, you can speed up the checkout process. As soon as someone clicks on something, you can take them straight to the cart, ask if that's what they'd like to do. You can add in the Shopbot virtual assistant. which is a really nice touch. And then, of course, customer reviews and ratings, which is it's probably a really important one. And we've got a nice little quote on the next slide.
I'm the quote girl. Even negative online reviews can be helpful, as retailers that display online reviews see conversion rates rise by as much as 270%, with higher priced and higher consideration items benefiting more. That's a really fun fact, I have to say. When I read that one, I was pretty mind-boggled.
Yeah, and I like that, I think having a negative review there is okay, like sitting along, because I know then if something's got maybe only 2 or 3 stars, that it's an honest review, so that when I see that 5-star and the 4 stars there, I know that really is a great product. And I never get the buying right. There's always going to be some items that aren't, that don't hit the 5 stars, and that's okay.
It's all about authenticity, I think.
Yeah. Some more additions.
Yeah, some more additions here. Booking a stylist, I'm a big fan. I think that really adds exclusivity, and I think it makes clients feel special. And I think that if you're working in an interior space or in a fashion space, you essentially are a stylist, enabling online search.
And so just on that stylist, I think it's really important if you're a stockist, so you don't have your own labels and you're stocking other people's labels, having that styling element, and because your shop is really about your curation of that range, and having the styling there gives people that extra reason to shop with you. Enable on-site search, so typing in and looking for something in particular on your own website. Colour swatches for product means that you don't have to jump out of the product to see other colours. You can straight away see what colours that particular item comes into. Shopping the look, kits and bundles or deals. You can add automation scripts to your site, so it sounds like there's a real person there, but there's not. But it is really nice. Bestsellers and customer favourites.
I think those are all fairly essential, and I think that they're all attention grabbers. I do find that I'll go down the rabbit hole with Shop the Look. If things have been well styled and put together really well, whether it's on yourself in the shop or whether it's a flat lay or whether it's hanging on the rack in a combination, I do, as a consumer, really enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's shopping.
Yeah, of course. And you want new ideas as well. How, if I'm going to buy this jacket, show me how I'm going to wear it. Tell me some different ways. Show me 3 ways I can wear that jacket and I'm sold.
Yeah, exactly. And I also like I like all of them obviously, but I really like bestsellers and customer favourites, because I think it's, we all like to have a friend say, I really liked it, been great, it's been great quality, or, just giving a bit of validation before you spend.
Yeah. By 2021, mobile devices alone will influence 1.4 trillion in local sales in retail. So that brings us to the next slide. We're continuing with additions to your site, but really optimizing for mobile. So as you're setting up your site, make sure you pop into the mobile optimization settings and work that way first. Add a frequently asked questions section, which you can build on as you go, depending on what you get DM'd. Check your page speed and load time. Add some custom graphics, which we saw how cute they were on the Get Crocked page. Keeping it really simple, minimizing choice so we don't have overwhelm. When it gets too hard to choose,
too many tabs.
It scares a customer off.
Yeah.
Yep, so keeping those main navigation tabs minimal. So, around 5, depending how big your range is.
Also consider that the average online shopper will navigate to a competitor's store if your site takes more than 3 seconds to load. Okay, so you have that same 3 seconds to capture a passerby physically as you do to capture them when they're online. And Sarah and I have talked about this before. The mind is working very, very fast these days. Not many people on the go slow, maybe a little bit different at the moment, but generally it's fast. Our technology is fast. Life is really fast. And we have to meet the market in that respect. It's got to be engaging and it's got to happen really quickly. Yeah. Otherwise, on to the next.
We've just popped in some best practice examples for you so you can jump in there and have a look. We really believe in looking through these, pulling out the bits that you like. What do you really giving it a bit of analysis, seeing what would work well on your site, not copying, but taking inspiration from some of these websites.
If there's a functionality that you really enjoy using or that you think is really cool and different, then it's absolutely a good idea to write that down and see if you can achieve that in your own style on your e-com. So we've listed next to each one of these what it is that we think is very innovative about these websites. So I'm sure that you'll have lots of fun going through those in your own time as well.
So, Jem, I guess it's a bit of an overwhelming, there's a lot there, a lot. So if we were to give you 3 takeaways, what do you think your number 1 takeaway is from this in optimizing the website, Jem?
For me, it's about connection and creating a voice and a persona that captures the customer because of that craving for community, but also the success in building a community. There are a lot of very successful businesses out there that were e-com before that they were physical. So it can be done. And I think that when you can create that, you're creating a group of people that are like-minded. And I think in our day and age, that is a really important and special thing to be able to do. There's a lot of clever add-ons that are so easily accessible now as well. So many free trials for all the add-ons that we've listed as well. If you want to try them out and you're not sure.
Yeah.
And
I think you captured it really well before when you said Instagram. If you look at the Instagram that in your feed, at the images that have the most insight, it's really those humanized images or humanized quotes or the things that you get people to laugh at. So if you can bring any of that onto your website, I think you'll really get people stopping and enjoying being on your site.
What about you?
For me, I'm really passionate. I mean, I love the branding. It's got to look good. But I think the customer experience, so making sure that nothing's frustrating on your site. And a really great way to do that is just every few weeks, run a bit of a test, be a customer, buy a couple of your most popular products, pop them in the cart, see if you can find them, go through the checkout process and just see how smooth that is and if you run into any bumps or frustrations, and then try and smooth those out.
Really making sure that your abandoned cart levels are lower. I think if everything is frictionless, you get that momentum.
Yes, and I think that's where you need to use the insights on your websites. They'll all have analytics, or you'll have Google Analytics set up. But that's where you can dig in and see, okay, well, where did they get to? Where are they stopping?
Yeah.
And what can, and then go through the process and find it out.
Yeah, you've always got to be looking at your business and trying things out, and and ask as well. Ask friends, ask family, ask other people that are in your business, and get some transparency going to make the improvement.
But I really want people to, if you think about what it takes to run a retail shop, you think about the rent that you pay on that, or a warehouse, the rent, the salaries that you pay, the overheads, the stock holdings, the fixtures, the power bills, the utilities, and then have a think about your website, what it's going to take to get that running and to get those sales for you, and the investments that you should make into your website to get it performing and optimized. There's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's just, it's the way of the future now. It's a hard thing to resolve when times are fairly tough, but it's definitely a long-term investment that's worth making if you can.
Yes. But look, if you do have any more questions about this, we are very, very friendly, and you can catch us on Instagram. You can click us a DM. You can email us, and you can also pick up the phone because we do love to have a bit of a chat. And we're really happy to help. You can book in a 15-minute discovery call. We also have a beautiful service on our site at the moment where we can review the site for you if that's way too overwhelming and you need some fresh eyes on it. But enjoy the rest of Life in Style.
Yeah, and thanks so much for having us. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We're called TalkShop because we really do like to talk About Shop. Wishing you all well, wishing your businesses absolute success, and stay safe.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.